Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Manosphere.
It has been 1 whole year since I left my marriage. We were together 7 years, married 1.5 years. I'm not going to get into it, but here are some things that I've learned. Number 1, choose you. That is the biggest thing. Always put yourself first and never settle.
Of course, be selfish.
Okay, man, but how can you be in a relationship with a man if you always put yourself first? There is no compromise in that relationship. It's always about you.
You've got one life, so you may as well do it right. 2, stop comparing. Your life is never going to be the same as others.
True.
Stop comparing your life to others on social media and just do what makes you happy. Number 3, have fun. Seriously, don't put a restriction on your age. Just have fun, do what makes you happy, and life will work itself out.
Of course, that's why 10 years from now she will still make TikToks saying that all men are shit, that she can't find a man.
Number 4, the dating world.
Can you see how she moves her mouth and how she acts?
The dating world is interesting, but just go with it. You don't know unless you try, and you will find out.
Ma'am, I don't have to eat shit to know it's not good for me, ma'am.
What works best for you and what doesn't. Number 5, don't be scared about being single in your 30s. I'm telling you, it is the best time to be single.
I'm telling you, man, these women are just sabotaging each other, right? It's like she divorced her husband, now is single at 30, probably a single mom, and telling everybody this is the best ever.
Yeah, of course. That's why you complain about dating, because it's the best time to be single, of course.
30s are the best years of your life. I'm 31. I know who I am. I know what I want, and I know what I deserve. Number 6, travel. I really didn't travel that much in my 20s. And now I'm making it a priority to travel, see the world, and to not let anything stop me. If you want to book those flights, book those flights. I went to Europe this year, and I just booked flights to go back to Europe for Christmas and New Year's for 2 weeks.
It's just annoying ass teenager right here.
Number
That's 30 years
7.
old.
Take the time to be on your own and enjoy your own company. It's really overwhelming and daunting to be on your own, but once you find that you enjoy your own company, you can do anything. I think that was a big struggle, being lonely, but I found to really love being on my own, and yeah.
Have you ever gone out, come home, you're drunk, and you realize you have 2 different shoes on? Because that's what I did.
Okay, guys, so yesterday I got a message from a guy saying the red pill is a joke because 99% of guys would date that woman that I showed in the video, not now, yesterday or the day before that, or would marry her. My guy, this is why the dating world is as it is. Because seems like you would take any woman just because she looks hot to you.
Yep.
Take this woman as an example. No matter how hot she is, when she opens her mouth and she starts talking, she should become invisible to you. It doesn't matter if she's the hottest woman in this world. It doesn't matter. Why? Because you will date this woman and she will make your life a living hell, or you will marry her and you will lose half your stuff. It's not worth it. I will give you another example. Look at this video.
Akash Singh's wife told him when they first met that he was gonna be her first.
My wife also hadn't had any sexual partners, so that helped us connect a lot more.
Let me ask you this.
And
Do
I-
you believe her?
Well, I certainly don't. Here's why.
I don't know.
So one time I met this guy on Tinder and I made the dumb mistake of letting him sleep over, like not really wanting to fucking hook up. And I like woke up in the morning and like my asshole was a little sore. Oh my God.
Bro fell for a level 1 scam. My God. And by the way, just so
What's she talking about, like the grape as if it was nothing or something?
clear, I don't have a problem with his wife having a past. She's an attractive woman that went to a party college. That's to be expected. What I genuinely find disturbing about the situation is the fact that Akash not only fell for the most obvious lie, but he's also now stuck with a woman that takes pride in lowering his status in public.
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college. I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white boy frat houses.
And she was a virgin, right?
Okay, so it doesn't matter how hot you find this woman. She can be the hottest to you. When she opens her mouth and starts talking like this, how do you still find her hot? How do you comment in my comment sections, what's her ID? Oh my God, she's so hot. How? How do you still see her hot? She should be invisible to you. Once a woman opens her mouth and she starts talking shit, from the 10 that you think she is, now she's a 5. If she's a single mother, now she's a 2. How are you guys so stupid? How can you think this way? Don't you understand a woman like this will just ruin your life?
Manosphere, I think it's because men are desperate. Men have always been desperate. It's since the dawn of time to get coochie, right? Nowadays, it's easier to get coochie, of course, because women are just throwing it out there, but men are still desperate. And the way men are desperate now is throwing resources.
Do you understand that I'm trying to spare you from suffering, from losing your money? Any woman that I post in the beginning of one of my videos, you shouldn't see her as hot. If you ask me for her ID or something like that, I will just block you. Yesterday, I blocked 4 guys. Today will be the same.
Like, not in a weird way. He's so good looking.
Oh, thank you.
And would y'all ever have an orgy together with your husbands? Priya, I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so fucking good looking, and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband.
No, I kind of love it, but I'm like, us for it? Okay, maybe.
I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
So how can you find a woman hot when she has a husband and she's talking about another woman's husband and how big his dick is? How can you find her hot?
It's ridiculous.
Please let me know in the comments if you want her ID or if you want the ID of the first woman so I can block you.
Just overheard a girl in line at Starbucks talking on the phone, and she goes, "Babe, brain-eating bacteria would starve to death inside that man's head."
If your girlfriend cheated on you, would you take her back?
No,
Why not?
I don't play that shit.
No? Okay. Would your love for her not be strong enough to like...
I mean, if she cheated, then there's no love.
True.
Okay, I see that.
Dear future husband, when I ask you in the future, what was she like? Where's she from? What's her name? How old was she? How long were you together for? Don't answer. Don't answer. I will ask you these questions. I will say, no. I want to know. Don't tell me.
I don't want to ever see my son sitting on a couch whilst a family of women are cleaning in the kitchen.
Do you think we need to...
This is another perfect example. When you see a woman like this, I don't care how hot she is to you, when she opens her mouth and starts talking like this, she should be invisible to you. I will tell you a story. One day, my girlfriend cut her finger really bad, like to the bone. You could have seen her bone. And her hand was bandaged and all that shit. And she couldn't do anything with that hand. So I wanted to wash the dishes. She heard me being in the kitchen washing the dishes, she rushed over and said, no, 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 you're not washing dishes. And she washed all the dishes with one hand. With one hand. Why? Because I'm the provider and this is my job and I always do it. And that's her job and she will always do it. And I didn't ask her to do it. I wanted to do it myself. But she insisted, no, no, no. So when you take women like this, that talk shit like this, and then you complain to me, oh, she took everything from me. Oh, she doesn't let me see my son. I don't care. It's your fault because you're a very big simp.
I met a guy on...
Manosphere is much more harsh than I am about the simp thing, right? Because I always say, sometimes men just don't, they haven't learned. They've been taught the wrong way. They were guided by society the wrong way. So they're going to have to learn sooner or later. I don't think every man is just complete simps out there that just putting women on pedestals, but they also just don't understand how to operate around women.
Tinder, and he out of the gate was basically everything I could have ever asked for. We got engaged after being together for a year, and I will never forget this. I went over to his house and we had just gotten into a fight, but it wasn't actually a big fight. I went over to his house to talk about it, and I look around his house, I walk in and all of our photos were gone. And I was like, what is going on here? And he sits me down on the couch and he's like, this is over. Right before this, we had planned a trip to Mexico. Then he breaks up with me. Then I am super confused. I'm talking to my friends about like, what just happened? Like this came out of nowhere. And a friend of mine goes, maybe just call that hotel in Mexico.
Let's see if you actually booked it.
And there was no reservation under his name. And that sent me down a rabbit hole. And by the way, at this point, I'm a matchmaker. I have a monthly segment on ABC, the local ABC channel, talking about dating advice.
So you just show us that you're stupid, ma'am. Everything that you were telling other women to do, you can't do yourself, ma'am, because you can't find the guy that doesn't lie to you. Can you see her glasses, guys? You can always tell by the glasses. And I had some comments asking me, what do I mean by that? I mean, when you see a woman that has weird glasses, a weird shape, or the frame of the glasses is in weird colors or patterns, you know she's a woke liberal. That's what I mean. That's why I tell you guys, stay away from women like this.
Anyway, I'm doing all of this while this is all happening. Like the amount of shit, I never thought this could happen to somebody like me.
A new study in the UK has found that 1 in 4 men believe they will never be loved. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
Another perfect example. How can you see this woman and think, oh my God, she's so beautiful? How? When I hear her talk, I just want to block her. I just want to never see her again. To me, she doesn't exist. How does she exist to you, my guy? I don't get it.
I mean, he's not wrong, guys. Manosphere is harsh about things when it comes to the, miserable women to deal with. But I think a lot of us need harsh words. Stop it. Get some help and avoid women just because they're pretty doesn't mean they're good women.
How can you be this big of a simp?
So today my friend was like, oh, so-and-so unfollowed me. And it was a guy and they used to be friends. And I was like, oh, why? And she's like, well, I think he got a girlfriend and unfollowed everyone. So lame. That is exactly what they should do. Shout out to that man, whoever he is.
Yeah, ma'am, I agree, but would you do the same? No, you wouldn't, because you would think that Instagram is more important than your boyfriend. That's the double standard, ma'am. Because if a guy tells you that, you will say he's controlling.
But I mean, a lot of the reasoning that these men say they want an 18, 19-year-old is because they lack baggage and lack trauma. So by your...
And they're also more physically attractive.
Especially with the incidence of mental health that's gone up. Like, I'm sure you'll at least know, like, most of your friends at least have anxiety or depression or some form of mental illness.
True.
You get a girl who's younger, closer to a blank slate than anything, low body count, has not been tainted by the world. Like, why doesn't that make more sense? Gonna be less combative, fight with you less, more respectful in the relationship, and doesn't have any baggage holding you back.
Yeah.
I mean, life experience for sure helps, but I feel like for trauma, it can go...
Don't you understand that when you find a good guy, a good leader, You don't have to have life experience. Why? Because he's the leader. He's going to guide you through life. You don't have to know everything. He does. If he's a smart guy and you respect and you trust him and you follow his leadership, you don't have to do shit because you will learn everything from him.
True.
Do you understand that, ma'am?
One of two ways with women. It could ruin them or it could make them stronger. And the percentile that it makes stronger is very minimal by comparison.
I'm getting divorced for the third time. Let's talk about it. You're allowed to change your mind. And you're allowed to grow. And you're allowed to evolve. After my first 2 divorces.
Ma'am, you haven't evolved. You haven't learned anything.
Same
You're
mistake.
getting divorced for the 3rd time. How can you say you have evolved? This is another perfect example, guys. I don't care how hot she is to you or how hot she was 10, 20 years ago when she first got married. When you see red flags, she should be invisible to you. Why? Because you will marry a woman like this. She will waste your time and then get half your stuff.
This is why we say the ability to walk away. Like, it's not just, oh, you're in a relationship to walk away. No, it's to walk away from beautiful women that are going to ruin your life.
Do you understand that all 3 of her husbands, because I already saw this video, all 3 of her husbands were good guys. Didn't do anything to her. They weren't violent. They were good husbands. She still left. Why? Because she's a woke liberal. That is all about her, exactly like the first woman.
Divorces. I did the work. I got to know myself. I healed. I forgave myself. I learned how to...
Okay, ma'am. So what? That didn't help you. You still got divorced the 3rd time.
to love and respect myself. How to meet my own needs and to set boundaries and to raise my standards. At work led me to marrying an amazing man. Our relationship was healthy. I will be
an amazing man, but I left him. Why? I can't explain why. I just felt it.
She evolved, bro. She evolved beyond the relationship.
Felt like leaving him. Okay, ma'am, maybe you made a mistake, but now it's the 3rd time. How many husbands do you have to have until people call you stupid? We're just going to skip this video because it's very stupid.
Question for you.
Yeah?
What do you think the problem is with dating right now?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know how to answer that.
Are you single?
Yeah, recently.
And how old are you?
25.
Why did you...
And at 25, she doesn't know anything. What's wrong with the world? What's wrong with dating? She lives in a bubble. She doesn't care.
True.
And then, if she meets a man that will just lie to her and sleep with her and then ghost her, she will say that all men are shit. Of course.
How did your last relationship end?
Well, I'm in veterinary school and he's doing nothing with his life and he got insecure about it.
You felt like he couldn't handle where your life was heading.
No, I was willing to work through it. He just was insecure that a woman was going to be more successful than him.
You being more successful off rip didn't make you respect him less.
No, I loved him. I wanted to grow with him. He's my...
Yes, ma'am, just that's because you weren't working yet, ma'am. When you start working and you will see that you're becoming the provider of the family, you will start to resent him, ma'am. There are studies that show if the woman earns more than the guy, the chances of divorce grows significantly.
Partner, I wanted to share life together, but he didn't feel like he could match that and couldn't handle it.
So a patient of mine went on a date recently and they went to an event and...
Did she say a patient of mine? Is she a therapist or something?
And then they had dinner and then at the end of the meal the waiter brought the check. And it just kind of sat on the table for a while and finally she picked it up and he was like, "Oh, I was testing you." And she was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I was testing you to see if you'd actually try to pay or if you just expected me to do it." She was like, "I'm perfectly capable of paying for my way. Thank you."
Yes, but they always expect the guy to pay.
They say that, but they're truly broke, dusty, musty crusties.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I'll just pay for the whole thing. So she paid for the whole check. And then the date was over and she went home. And of course she didn't contact him after that. And a week or so later, he's like, hey, you haven't hit me up. You know, what's up? He was like, did I make a bad impression? She was like, well, you didn't make a good one. He's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, if the girl pays on the first date, don't expect that she will call you back. She won't, guys, she won't.
She was like, I didn't appreciate being tested. And he was like, well, hey, you know, we men take a big risk by, you know, going out with women who might just like take advantage of us and use us for our money. And
I know a lot of women just go out with men to get a free lunch.
She and I talked about how ridiculous this whole sentiment is. Do you know what kind of risks women take when they go on a date? Women actually risk their own safety.
How?
Then don't go.
Oh, ma'am. How? Because they go to a public restaurant or to a public cafe or something. How do they risk anything when they go out in public? When they meet at the restaurant? How? How, ma'am?
Their own lives. And if you're...
How, ma'am? How do you risk your own life when you're in public, when you're at a restaurant? Can you see how they always play the victim, guys? Oh my God, I'm such a victim because I'm meeting a guy at the restaurant and
some random guy that I chose to meet up with and have dinner with.
I'm putting my own life at stake. How, ma'am? How? Is he going to do something there in front of everybody? How? Aren't there any bodyguards, any security at that restaurant? There is nothing there. You can't say nothing. You can't do nothing. It's so stupid, guys. We're just going to skip this video.
Why do women get so annoyed when another woman walks in the room who is more beautiful than them? Let's talk about the psychology behind it. When a woman sees another woman who's more attractive, an internal mechanism gets highly triggered. Competition. It's not just about looks. Beauty represents attention, validation, and even the subconscious fear of being replaced. That's why the presence of a beautiful woman often feels like a threat. It shakes the security of those who tie their worth to how others perceive them. The comparison kicks in, and without realizing it, jealousy, rejection, or even passive aggression can surface. But here's the truth. Another woman's beauty doesn't take anything away from yours. A secure woman knows that. She doesn't
Yes, ma'am, but women are so emotionally intelligent that they don't understand that, ma'am.
compare. She doesn't compete. She compliments. She knows her value is untouchable. The problem was never the other woman. The problem is the insecurity you carry inside. When you own your worth, another woman's shine or beauty does not dim yours. It only makes you shine harder. And remember that.
I mean, the whole making you shine harder thing, I don't know about that. When there's a hot girl out there, she's hot. She doesn't make everybody else hotter because she's hot.
If there was going to be somebody prettier than you, taller than you, longer hair than you, bluer eyes than you, that is normal. But you have to be so secure and confident in yourself that the beauty of another woman.
How can you talk about women being so secure in themselves when they all wear makeup? When they don't even leave the house to take the trash out without having makeup on? How?
Men, like I said, doesn't dim your own light.
It's a horrific crash. Ooh. A speeding Porsche jumps the curb, slamming into a young man on a first date, then hitting a light pole. The driver of the Porsche is Christina Chambers, and she's making an astonishing claim. She says her high heels got stuck on the pedals, and that's why she couldn't control the car.
Then don't wear high heels. I don't get it. How are you this stupid? It's the first time driving that car. Don't you know that your heels get in the way and you can't drive the car properly?
Christina Chambers was wearing a pair of pricey Christian Louboutin shoes like these. They're about $1,000 and have a distinctive red sole and a very high heel. Just imagine trying to drive in these. Social media is full of tutorials.
So it's all of a sudden their fault for you wearing high heels?
How to drive in heels. The bottom line is, it's not easy, and it's also not recommended. Inside Edition producer Lauren Lavelle gave it a try.
Like, men have special shoes for driving. That's how much we like driving.
It sure is a challenge.
My heel keeps getting caught in the carpeting every time I maneuver it from the pedal to the brake.
That's not an excuse. I don't care. Don't wear high heels. Have the high heels in your car and wear something else, and when you get out of the car, get those high heels on.
That's it. That easy.
I realized I was fucking boring, is what it was. I would have a match and we'd get into a conversation. I'd usually make a comment about something in their profile to show that I had read it, and then the woman would answer and I'd respond with something else, and it'd be 10-15 minutes before they'd respond, or sometimes they'd just not respond at all. And I had like an aha moment. One day I was messaging with a woman who said she was in policing, and I asked her something about it, and she responded that she was a homicide detective, but it took her like 10 minutes to respond. Like I said, I answer her back right away. Another 15-20 minutes goes by. My phone dings. It's a message from her. I forget what she said. I answer right away. And another 15-20 minutes goes by. I'm like, yeah, I am not grabbing this woman's attention at all. And what I...
My guy, if she likes you, if she likes how you look, you don't have to do anything. To a woman,
I wouldn't say anything, but it is pretty easy.
The better you look, the more interesting you are. And by the way, most guys don't have anything interesting to say, because most guys' life is boring.
True.
They go to their job, they come back home, eat, watch TV, watch YouTube, and then go to sleep and then repeat. Most guys' lives are not that interesting. You don't see guys going on trips every 2 weeks.
Hell no.
Or doing, crazy stuff to have a conversation.
Like, I went on a trip like 2 months ago, and I hardly ever even talk about it. It's just something I don't really talk about. I'm not trying to flaunt my life to other people.
To talk about. Most guys are boring, exactly like most women. Most women are boring.
I can admit that.
The example that you gave, she is the exception. She's not the norm.
I realized is that she probably was messaging multiple men at once. She probably had tons of matches. A lot of people on dating apps, generally the more attractive you are, the more matches you have. And this was a pretty good looking woman. So I would imagine that she was trying to filter it out and see who was worth continuing conversations with, right? And after 1 or 2 conversations fizzled out, she'd get back to me to see I wasn't being completely boring, but I wasn't being nearly exciting enough to grab her attention and make her want to continue messaging me back and forth and just stick to the conversation that we were in. And so I realized, I'm like, fuck, I gotta say something that's more interesting here. Like, how do I grab this woman's attention? And so I said, how many guys slowly back out of the chat with you when they find out that you're a homicide detective? And that did it. That grabbed her attention, and from that point on, we ended up having more of like a back and forth conversation over the course of the next like 20 minutes, set a date, and we're off to the races.
Yes, my guy, but you have one flaw in your logic. You think just because you made the conversation more interesting, that will guarantee you a relationship with her. You forget.
I don't think he thinks it's a guarantee. He just thinks that he's working the system a little bit better, Manosphere.
That a Chad that is better looking than you can come into her DMs and doesn't have to say shit. And she will go on a date with him.
You are 100% correct on that too, though.
And that's really what you got to do. I know a lot of guys will use these cheesy lines that they find on the internet.
Those don't work, guys.
Never do.
Really outrageous stuff that does grab people's attention, but it's not genuine, right? It's just like a line. And a lot of women, really good women, will see through that because they'll start getting those same lines from multiple guys. And they're like, oh, this again. I think a lot of people, especially women on dating apps, are looking for something more than just swiping based on looks. They want to know that you're trying to connect with them as a person.
Okay.
You can see that he's the nice guy.
He is.
He thinks that just because he adds value to the conversation, that somehow that woman will see his value and will want to, I don't know, be in a relationship with him. What you don't get, my guy, is that nice guys like you, usually, not always, will get their heart crushed. Because what happens, she will go on the date with you, 2 dates, 3 dates, whatever, and you can't be interesting all the time. Why? Because your life is boring. You're not interesting yourself. Even if now you're having an interesting conversation, you won't be able to sustain that level of conversation, my guy. And Chad will come along, and Chad will sleep with her, and then after a few weeks you will see that she will be more and more distant, and at some point she will ghost you, and you won't understand why, because you're the nice guy, and you think just because you added value to this conversation that somehow she will see you as a white knight, a prince in shining armor.
I see where he's coming from now.
My guy. From the start, that you actually admitted yourself, she's the kind of woman that she talks to lots and lots of men. There will always be a better guy than you with these kinds of women. And even if, my guy, let's say you're the nice guy and she really wants you, don't you get it that you're the nice guy that now she settles for? When she was younger, she wasn't looking for you. And now you're the white knight, you're the simp that is going to save her, that is going to offer her stability. This is the exact thing that I was talking about with the first woman. It doesn't matter how good looking she is, my guy. Her personality is more important than her looks.
Of course.
Yes, I get it. You're attracted by her looks. When she opens her mouth, from her 10, it becomes a 0. On to the next. I'm not telling you that you should date an ugly woman that you feel no attraction with, that has a good personality. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you find a woman that you're attracted to and you start talking to her and you see the red flags, you shouldn't be attracted to her anymore. That's what I'm saying.
And so that combination of wittiness and curiosity works really well.
I think my boyfriend is overreacting for breaking up with me over my caught cheating prank. Am I the asshole? My boyfriend posted here a few hours ago and shared the link with me to show me what people thought about what I did and that he is not overreacting. I thought I'd come on here and give my version of events for a more nuanced take. I planned the cheating prank with our close mutual friend several days ago.
If you love a guy, if you really love him and respect him, you won't do a prank on him with your friends. Why? Because that shows disrespect towards him. You make him look like a fool even if it's a prank. You make him look like a fool for a minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know. A woman that truly respects her man will never do that.
We're hanging out and scrolling through TikTok videos and came across prank shorts between couples. We went down the rabbit hole and ended up watching YouTube videos of cheating pranks. And I mentioned it would be funny to try a cheating prank on my boyfriend to find out what his reaction would be. He said he would do one with me, and I agreed because it was someone my boyfriend liked and trusted, so I thought it would be harmless. It started out as a hypothetical plan, but over the course of the conversation and while hashing out details, it turned into a real plan, and we agreed to the day we would do it, when my boyfriend would be out and come back home and find us together. We set up a camera and filmed ourselves talking about the prank and set it up on top of the dresser in the bedroom and got into position. We were laughing throughout, and it is all on video. To make it believable, I told him to take off his shirt. He said I should probably do the same, so we did. Then he thought it would be even more believable and provide that shock factor if we also took off our pants. In hindsight, this was a terrible idea, but I agreed to it.
Okay.
You know how the rest of the story went from his post. But what he didn't mention is that he refused to watch the video I recorded showing that it was a planned prank, that we only took off our clothes and got into sex position when we knew he was home. I understand that this prank was extra and hurtful to him, and for that I am sorry, but I am not cheating on him, and I did not mean to disrespect our relationship. I thought him breaking up with me is a massive overreaction because other than this incident, which I now massively regret, our relationship was great. We shared 2 wonderful years together and moved in together over the summer. I plan on deleting the video and won't be sharing it on social media, but I will share with him first for proof of my intentions. A little bit of an update. My ex-girlfriend was really upset with all the hate she received online and blamed me for painting her in a bad light. I told her I did no such thing. She just didn't like that she got called out on her behavior. The mutual friend who was a part of the prank is now also pissed off at me and saying I went way overboard. I told them both to fuck off and have blocked their numbers.
My man.
Good for you, my guy. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.
Shout out to Manosphere. He's always been like a big brother to me. He helps me out with YouTube. We have conversations here and there. And then when I watch videos, cover his videos, it always feels like a big brother yelling at you and telling you, stop being dumb. You know, the harsh big brother that tells you the truth and forces you to try and get it than to just let you deal with your own thing. And that's the great thing about Manosphere. I'm a little bit different. I'm like a harsh brother, but a lot nicer than he is. And then there's people like Alexander Grace, which is like the gentle brother. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.